Let's do some ZVT to the bottom right-hand side. Our orange Zerg player. This is Impact. And at the top left, our blue Terra and INnoVation in this TvZ Best of 5 final. Again, on the line here, the difference between a $100 second place prize, a $300 first place prize. So that's what's going on. That's the situation, that's the deal. And, yeah, hopefully you guys are excited. Not every day we get cast an INnoVation Best of 5, is it? So intrigued to see how this goes, excited to see what's going to happen as we get this set up and underway over the next few moments. Lurking and working, says hello Zerglin. Yeah, it seems like a bit of a lurking day. It seems like a little bit of a lurking day. Like, not a lot of people in chat. Everyone's just sort of chilled out. But there's definitely people here. There's definitely people here, so... I don't know. I don't know. Excited, says Hot Buns in the chat as well. It's good to hear as well. It's also good to hear. Alright, cool. Nice to see you guys around and enjoying the games. You guys enjoyed the games, right? These have been some good matches. If you enjoy what you're seeing here, we are going to be back in 14 hours and 20 minutes time, because that will be when Kung Fu Cup number 4 happens. We'll have the exact same or very similar lineup of players as to what we've been casting today. So do make sure you join in for that. It should be a lot of fun, honestly. Should be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it already. Do you see a Reaper here from INnoVation is starting to come down towards the bottom right-hand side of the map. Just having a little bit of a look to see what's going on. Just look to see what is happening over the next few moments. Factory from INnoVation currently on the way up in the main base. So factory coming through. The reactor starts to build on this barracks. As that reactor starts to build, we will see a grenade coming down, bouncing a drone around to the side. And, yeah, just, I mean, again, a little bit of an attack here early. As we do see the Yerlings coming forwards and trying to push that Reaper back. Third hatchery is started up for impact off to the side here. One Zerglin gets taken down. Double CC from INnoVation, by the way, so just goes straight in towards a very kind of, you know, economy-focused build. 3 command centers off 1 gas. Obviously on Neon Violet Square you can do this in position on the third base, although you will have half the minerals. It'll still work out okay. Impact, by the way, has just been on fire lately, and obviously this series right now is really... Oh, not this series, but this tournament so far has been a bit of an indicator of that as well. You had a pretty sick run to get into this finals. In fact, if you give me just a quick moment to tap out while you follow this Reaper, well, this Reaper's about to die. Are you gonna die, Reaper? You are. Oh my god, no way, Reaper. Oh my god, Reaper stays alive. I just want to kind of run through the full kind of run that these guys had. So Impact took down Sue, then he took down Rush Crazy 2-0, then he took down Lenok 2-1, then Stats 2-1 and Solar 2-1 to make it through to this final, which is honestly a very impressive run. Meanwhile, on the other side of the bracket, INnoVation had a pretty decent run himself. Not sure who he played in the round of 64, but he did play against... but always in the round of 32. Then he took down Time 2-0, Hero 2-1, and Alive 2-1. So both of these players have had pretty monstrous runs in what is a very stacked tournament. And that's the great thing about Kung Fu Cup, and that's why you should tune in tomorrow, because it usually is stacked. It really is. Marine and Viking push this Overlord away out the front. A couple of Hellions setting up here on the natural expansion as well. And over here, a couple of Hellions looking as though they're going to try and maybe run on by past those Queens, with the Queens in position. Just going to say, nuh-uh, not today, guys. Turn yourselves back around. You are blocked from entering this natural. So those couple of Hellions turn themselves back around, and they head back towards the upper left-hand side of the map now instead. Viking comes in towards the main base, and the Queen going to be working its way through it just a little bit here, so Viking taking just a little bit of damage. A couple of Cyclones are currently on the way out, and we do see the Raven of INnoVation is currently coming through as well, so Raven coming into play, and we are going to be having, well, again, just a few Hellions, the Raven, getting set up to try and see what might happen here in the next few moments. Raven coming all the way down the left side here, and again, a couple of armories actually coming up from INnoVation as well, so a couple of armories coming through. Yeah, and a couple of factories also coming up in the main base. It means he is going to be playing that mech style. Not every day we see INnoVation playing mech either, but I guess if there's a map to play mech on, Neon Violet Square definitely would be it. Quite the, definitely a bit of a, a larger map, definitely a map where taking multiple bases becomes quite simple on. We'll see how we go from here. Also do see double Evo coming through currently for Impact on the natural, so Impact throws down the double evolution chamber. The Overseer will finish morphing here as well. A few Queens just coming up the right-hand side, some creep pushing out through the center. And a few Roaches just trying to come over to the right as well. There's Viking also just set up at the moment for INnoVation, trying to see what's going on. A few creep tumors coming on down, and again, Impact just pushing this creeper up the right-hand side at the moment, because we do have a few Zerglings currently nibbling their way through those rocks. 4 on the way up on this factory, and we're going to see a couple more medevacs as well. Obviously, as 2 4s come up, those medevac 4 drops are going to be looking to try and keep the Zerg busy, keep the Zerg active, not let him just max on up and do whatever he wants for the next few minutes while the Terran player kind of maxes up. It just, it also stops the Zerg from attacking to some extent as well. So it gives that Terran player some time to kind of build up in towards his own army, get the extra production online, get the 4th base built up in location. It's very good at all of those things. We do see pushing forward here already. Just going to be seeing a couple of creep tumors going down. The power of having an early game Raven mixed into play. So some creep tumors being taken down already, and we are going to be seeing, well, the Roaches coming forwards means that the Hellions will have to back away. Obviously, Hellions don't really want to fight this. We have some zigzagging going on with those little squares. 4th CC currently just about halfway done, as we do see again the 2 medevacs with 4s inside. Coming down the left-hand side and looking to try and see just what they can set up to here, perhaps, in the next few moments. Roof Spines coming in on the Hydralisk Den. Again, those Hellions have just come in through the center. The Raven coming in as well. We're going to see those Roaches continue to target down these rocks, so the rocks will get picked off. Obviously opens up it stops the Terran player from kind of sitting on this side of tanks and supporting as he pushes in. I think it's kind of nice to kind of clean that up as we do see the 4s into the main base. Well, there's a couple of overlords they can definitely get rid of here right away, and that's what they're going for right now, even though they're very slow at attacking 4s, man, aren't they? And their air attack anyways. Lifted up now, backing away as we see the Hellions are still unable to find much more, but again at the moment they're really only looking for the, they're only really looking for the creep tumors. Hive is about to finish, and as the Hive finishes up, the Groove Spines is about to finish as well in the Hydralisk Den. Still have Roach Hydra-based force here is looking pretty strong with Hive finishing, of course. You get access to the Vipers, and as you get access to the Vipers, it becomes a lot stronger for you, as we do see Impact continue to come up towards the top side of the map, looking to see what he can do. +2 vehicle play and +2 vehicle weapons on the way from INnoVation at the moment. More Vikings currently on the way out, and again Roaches and Hydras coming off over to the right hand side and then back in towards the center over the last couple of moments. Another few Vipers currently on the way up here from Impact, so 3 more Vipers coming into play. Again, those Vikings of INnoVation still seeing what they can do, picking off another Overlord. Top left hand side we actually see a couple of lane drops coming into play, and Impact is doing okay damage. I mean, mostly just kind of delaying SCVs from mining, but with mech, it stops 4 gases from mining for a good amount of time. It's actually not a bad little setup, honestly. You'll see those Cyclones are obviously going to force the wings to drop off once again. Meanwhile, the rest of the army has obviously not really found an opportunity to attack on in. Otherwise, it was the perfect time to do so while there were so many units kind of sat in the top left-hand side or so. Just going to be seeing the Roaches and Hydras still up the right. Hellions, Vikings, 4s, couple of tanks, couple of medevacs still gathering up too. As we do see the Roaches and Hydras to the left-hand side from Impact also still getting ready to go. More units out and towards the center of the map here, +2 vehicle weapons is still just on the edge of completing, and that is going to be really what INnoVation will want to push with here. He's maxed out. He's going to have 2-2. It's time to start seeing what he can do before the real Hive Tech comes into play. Yes, there's Vipers, but there isn't, the beyond Viper stage of Hive Tech, right? There isn't the Great Aspire yet. There isn't the Ultras Cavern, although Ultras against mech would not really be super amazing per se. Nice denial of mine on the 4th base at the moment. Here INnoVation will still continue with his attack, however. He's not going to be pulled back just for a small amount of Roach Hydra. He does have reinforcements coming through, so he's not too worried about that just yet, as he'll start to set up a siege towards what was the 4th base here, or maybe that was the 5th, whichever way around these were taken. He's going to start setting this up very soon. We do see the Overseers starting to go down, actually. The Vikings getting rid of those very quickly. I mean, the Viper's obviously going to be a prime target here as well. Gets one of them low, one with full energy as well. And we are going to see them coming in right now. The first Viper goes down without doing anything. The second two Vipers do get Blinding Clouds off, but there's tanks in the back, which are still part of this fight. And now Blinding Cloud fades. INnoVation has a lot, especially with these Vikings dropping down. He is doing a lot of damage. Now, meanwhile, Roaches and Hydras did break through into the natural. Kills off an armory and killed a few workers as well. But that said, I mean, INnoVation's obviously killing a lot of workers too. He's killed a lot of workers on this low ground. He kills this base straight up. And he still has an army here that can still fight because, well, new Vipers aren't going to have energy to really do too much. A couple of forts in the front are going to go down very quickly, though. These Vikings will see what they can do as the tank fire is going to be pretty good initially. Honestly, the tank fire is insane, so there's just so many siege tanks here. Impact is going to eventually clean this up. It's very expensive, though. And again, he lost a base here, he lost a mine here, he very nearly lost this expansion as well. Impact only just cleans up, and, well, INnoVation, he has got a gold base now set up as well, so gold base is about to finish up here, and as that gold base is coming into play, it's just another kind of location for INnoVation to just build up all of that economy over the next few minutes. A few tanks going to move on over through this top side, and they are also going to start sieging now as we see those Hellions coming down to the south. They're going to find themselves a couple of drones on this mineral line. They get roasted pretty quickly as, Impact, you do not want to kill your own hatchery. That would be quite the mistake. Marine pushing this Overlord away down to the south, and we do see the Hellions having to continue backing off to the sides as we are going to be seeing the Roaches and Hydras just picking off another Marine here. Greater Spire currently on the way up from Impact. An Evolution Chamber as well, just to kind of get something for the Vipers to consume. That hatchery on the third base is actually low, I guess it was the natural. Is actually low as well. There's actually a couple of low hatcheries. One was from the Terran attacking, the other was from the Vipers consuming. As we do see just in the top side, in the center here. And it's just gathering together. A few Hellions disappearing very quickly as they try and run on by. INnoVation won't care so much about those. He is rebuilding his main army here towards the upper left-hand corner. So, main army of INnoVation rebuilding at the moment. Getting that armory back online as well. Didn't lose an upgrade when that went down, but he lost the ability to build double upgrades. So just wants to get his +3 plating on the way nice and quickly, it would seem. Big drop into the main base, so it looks as though Impact going to try and get some damage done right now. Coming on through, going to get rid of a couple of, getting rid of a few workers. Going to be able to maybe even kill the orbital command. A few Hellions show up to try and start dealing with the Hydras, but the orbital goes down. Well, the Vikings are here, so there's no way out of this for these Hydras. The Overlords have now been killed off. Meanwhile, an attack over here gets shut down with a scan. So this is going to be a cleanup, but again, I think it was a very successful attack from Impact, actually. I mean, he killed quite a lot in the process, right? And he killed an orbital too. Doesn't get much better than that. And there is still, what, 1.2k gas on this main base, plus a bunch of minerals. You know, it's definitely worth retaking this base. Gas alone is very valuable in these sort of mech-based games. So that's a nice little drop. We are going to be seeing those Vikings and Hellions from INnoVation are still just gathering together here. We are going to be seeing this Overseer coming in to lead the charge. As well, obviously wants to see where he should maybe drop those Blinding Clouds or Abducts, whatever he feels is most necessary. There's a lot of Abducts in the Vikings, but honestly, it's kind of expensive on, in terms of energy, right? Because he was 2 full Vipers of energy and didn't even kill that many Vikings. So now Impact kind of has to back away before he can even fight. Maybe he didn't want to fight straight up anyways. Maybe he didn't feel as though this was enough for Roach Hydra to push in, even with Blinding Clouds. In which case, it's kind of okay, but otherwise it would have been definitely an attack which, sort of makes you look at it. It's like, well, that actually kind of loses me a little bit of time here, I guess. Hellions are pushed away off to the left-hand side, and we are going to be seeing still some Hydras and some Vipers just moving around the right. Hellions darting forwards here are going to be, just some heavy fire right away. Those Hydras doing quite a bit of damage to those Hellions as they start to drop on down. To the left-hand side here, Viking is going to be working its way through that Overlord, so Overlord taking some damage as well, and we are just going to see another couple of Ravens currently on the way up. A couple of siege tanks too. And again, still just some Hydras and Roaches of Impact. Going to move on down towards the south side. This moment we're going to see still a good amount of tanks here from INnoVation. More tanks continue to come across. He's maxed out once again. And so really, if he feels like he's ready to push, he could. I mean, what more does he have to wait for? I guess, arguably, he maybe doesn't want to push because he doesn't need to push. And he feels as though this game only gets better for him if he gets Ravens out, right? And so over time, he might just sit back and trade slowly while building up that Raven count, which obviously really can turn out to be quite deadly sometimes. And that looks to me as though it's sort of the plan for INnoVation for the moment, at least. A couple of Ravens really are starting to hit the fields, as though now you're actually on Sieges, so he does start a push now. Maybe he just wanted the first 2 Ravens. Maybe he just feels he wants to get towards the edge of the creep and just sort of sit here instead. Counter-attack around the left side as well, spotted by the floating barracks. Impact's still not rushing in towards a fight here. Some more tanks are coming over to get ready to defend. Starting to siege up already. A few Roaches will get in towards the natural expansion. These units of the Hydras are going to have to back away though. So as those back away, a few SCVs will start to drop. Now, coming forwards with the rest of the army, INnoVation sieging up here. A couple of Dogs forwards rather than what I think could have been amazing blinding clouds. Well, anti-armor missiles hitting to the center of the Hydras, and that's already painful for Impact. Again, Roaches top left, working their way through a few more SCVs. There you go, Parasitic Bomb on one of those Vikings, but he splits away. Actually, more Parasitic Bombs starting to deal a lot more damage. Just in the end, managed to split this off, and we do see some more Hydras continuing up the up towards the top left-hand side. Vipers gathering together some energy, and we do see those Hydras working their way through this command center. So CC is going to be taking another few shots of damage. Will be falling here in a moment or two. Again, denying the bases on the left, but the bases to the top have just been unhindered in their kind of progression towards just mining happily. I think Blind Cloud's going to come down on top of those siege tanks here. Let's see what INnoVation can do. All of those Vipers are going to go down in the process. But these tanks, well, I mean, the Blinding Clouds just fade away. It took so long for the Roaches and Hydras to get on top of this. Suddenly, the Impact has just lost a hell of a lot, and INnoVation will know that. 15 Hydras and 3 Vipers in the reproduction, but Impact doesn't even try to use them. GG. INnoVation is just a little bit... Alright. To the top right-hand side, we have our orange Zerg player. This is Impact. And down to the bottom left-hand side, the blue Terran is INnoVation. Okay then, so game number 2 and INnoVation leading the series 1-0. We'll see what Impact's going to try and change up here for the second game. I mean, it's another map which Mech is definitely very viable on, so Impact's going to need a bit of a better response to that if it is going to be Mech once again. Just going to be seeing that barracks dropping down, the gas coming through, and just waiting to see where we get to. Again, thanks to Muslim for the host, and welcome everyone from the Muslim stream. Hope you guys had a good time watching Ben shred apart the ladder, as I'm sure he did. That's what he's made for. Ladder shredding. Overlord here going to be a little bit of an interesting scout path, just checking for the potential of a 2 racks here in this early stages of the game. Wow, 6.6 and the 6.9 MMR. Wow. That's pretty sick, man. Who are you getting to play for you on your account while you're streaming? Oh, okay, I know. I know you're pretty good. I get it. The Terran, new Terran Hope. The new Terran Hope. You know, screw this INnoVation guide. Muslim should be in the finals. If only they didn't host this on the Korean server, you guys would see. You guys would see. I'd show you. Or the Muslim would show you. Yeah, they have a bold Terran. You fell. Love it. What's up, Strike? SC2 coming in with the 3-month resub, saying hooray for the revert of the Marauder. Thanks so much for the 3 months, and yes, Terrans around the world are celebrating today for the announcement of the Marauder, nerf reversion. Is that right? The revert of the Marauder nerf is maybe a better way to say it. We're all going to be seeing this Reaper here just dancing in the early stages with those initial lings. The build, very similar here once again from INnoVation. I say very similar, it's exactly the same. 3cc off of just the 1 gas is what you expect it to be. And as we do see the Reaper, we'll just sit off to the side now for a moment or so instead. LaserSec with another $20. You got some love in the chat for LaserSec, guys. This is the second donation of the day, bringing us up to a full daily donation bar. Says, I'll just fill up that bar, and as a side note, I bought the BTSL SCT port race as well at 50% off until the BTSL live is over. Definitely something you guys should check out. The new port rates, me, Zombie Grub, Maynard, and Rifkin. We have port rates in StarCraft. You can have our faces in-game. Yes, you can. And you can do that for just $5 because they're half price. Check out the BTSL Matcherino page. sure someone will probably be able to link it to help you guys find it. And for $5, you get all 4 portraits, and $4 of that $5 goes directly towards supporting the BTSL event. So do check that out, and thank you again, LaserSec, for the $20 donation. Do appreciate it, yo. Thank you so much. Rotoron coming down here at the front from Impact, as we do see this Lone Marine fighting his way through that Overlord at the moment, so dealing just a little bit of damage here early on. A few Hellions of INnoVation just moving forwards as you see that Marine continue to target down the Overlord. So a little bit more damage is being dealt here for the moment. Just pushing this back. Banshee on the way out, INnoVation just playing a very safe 3cc style. As we are going to be seeing the +1 missiles and the Roach speed coming through right now from Impact here. So he's going to be playing this Roach-based opener, which obviously works quite well, especially if INnoVation wants to play kind of like a mech style. If you're already on Roaches, that obviously goes quite a little way. As we do see the Burrower coming up from Impact, and yeah, Burrower coming through, 7 Roaches on the way out, a couple of Armories dropping down from INnoVation in the natural expansion. And yeah, a couple of Cyclones continuing to pop on out here, as it is looking to be a bit of a Hellbat Cyclone kind of opener. I guess it's the same as last time, really. 2 more Armories, then the 2 factories. It looks as though we're probably going to see the Reactor and then the 4 Medevac set up. Because he actually did build a couple of Cyclones last time as well, didn't he? So yeah, and then he ran around the map with the Raven for a while with the Hellions and the Cyclones to clean it up. This time it's the Banshee rather than the Raven, so it's a little bit more of a kind of a defensive setup. Whereas the Raven allows you to be a bit more aggressive in terms of cleaning up the creep. So a couple of different, you know, a bit of a difference here, I suppose. As we do see the Burrower is about just over 3/4 of the way done. +1 missiles will finish up shortly, and we're just going to be seeing 10 more Roaches also going to come up in the next few moments. LaserSec gifting a sub as well. LaserSec is apparently just the supporter of the day. He's the sole hero. I don't know. He's doing everything today. Donations, sub gifts. LaserSec giving a sub to XXX Chris the Beast. Welcome, Chris the Beast, to the Wardy fam. How you doing? And a Goomba hitting us up with the sub as well. How you doing? Back-to-back subs. Thank you so much, guys. Welcome. Hold that thought, though, because we do have these Cyclones being pushed away by the Roaches. They grabbed one of them so far. And we are going to see the Roaches will be blocked by the depots, but it means the third base is open for attack. But actually, well, it looks as though Impact's kind of just interested in staying up here. He gets rid of the other Cyclones. Now it's just Hellbats, so these supply depots will continue to fall. Love the few Roaches going towards the third base, because that will be some SCVs that you can pick off right now. Because we are going to be seeing a couple more SCVs being picked away at in this natural expansion. So INnoVation is really in a little bit of trouble here, and right now this Soul Banshee is not working out. The Burrow finish for Impact means that he's actually able to save these Roaches a few at a time as well, and at least 4 scans, which is even more damage to be dealt. Tank sieging up obviously starts to really turn this around. Currently 46 to 55 workers. Army supplies are even. Honestly, I don't even know if this was so bad for INnoVation in the end. Obviously it wasn't very pretty to begin with, having to scan again maybe for this 1 extra Roach. But, oh my god, it's just going to dive between positions. He could just put a Hellbat on position and attack move it with the siege tank, and the splash damage would kill it, right? So I think that's one way of guessing that the regeneration of a Roach is pretty quick underground. So I guess that's also a little bit of an interesting one. Well, okay, INnoVation is held on, and honestly, when you hold an attack like that and you still have the 3 bases, and honestly not even that bad of a economy, 48 to 64 workers, I'm not sure why this base isn't back down on the ground. It's generally a pretty decent position to be in as the Terran player, and I feel at this point as well, especially, you know, you kind of, you know, you're safe on the 3 bases again, you're looking okay. The Burrow is definitely a bit of an issue, it's a bit of an annoyance, but that's about it, I would say. As we do see the tank in the main, try and clean that up. Yeah, I would say what is interesting is he didn't go for the Medevacs and the 4s. He saw something in INnoVation that kind of triggered him to make the tanks instead, and that was a big part of helping to clean that up towards the end. So that was nicely done. It was, yeah, I mean, I think a couple of 4s just make it a little bit more difficult to clean that up compared to the tanks. I think they still clean it up, but it takes maybe just a little bit longer. Obviously, that's a little bit of a shame sometimes. But as the game settles down for a moment, thank you so much, LaserSec, who has added another sub-gift to the channel, this time to John the Shepherd, 104. Welcome, John the Shepherd, to the... Oh, John Shepherd, there's no the in the middle, sorry. Welcome, John Shepherd, 104, to the Wardy family, and thank you again to Agumba for the sub that just came in as well, as the second sub-gift from LaserSec to Chris the Beast. Thank you very much, guys, for the support. Appreciate it. And oh my god, LaserSec is just on a roll. Gifting a sub to the base Tacker as well. Thank you so much, Laser Sec. We'll continue to gift out some subs. Let's see some Wardy Hearts to the channel, guys. Let's see some love. Let's see some hype for some subs. Thank you very much for the support. And do you see these Hellions coming around the top side, thinking of running by, but not really anywhere to dive into. I mean, there's nothing actually on this gold base at the moment, so a couple of factories coming in on the main, as we are going to be seeing those just getting set up. One building on the reactor. Starport builds its own reactor right now as well. 84 drones to 63 SCV is still really anybody's game at this point. Now, you know, I feel as though the initial attack opening from, the initial opening there from Impact didn't really do enough, but at the same time the third base was lifted for quite a little while. It was, yeah, it's pretty, it's probably pretty okay. I think it was probably pretty even coming out of it, all said and done, which is always nice to see, as we see 4 more Vipers on the way up at the moment here, so 4 Vipers coming through. Hydralis Den is getting that muscular augments on the way as well, so muscular augments currently coming into play as these roaches do intercept those few Hellions trying to run on by. It's a nice defense there of Impact, who continues to come across the map, and right now it does sort of feel as though that, it sort of feels as though Impact suddenly is maxed out. I'm not sure if there's really enough here for INnoVation to defend, considering there's already, as he contaminates up a factory as well, just really trying to stop production. He's already got Vipers. Can INnoVation deflect this with Vipers in play and all sorts? I'm not really too sure. Let's see. We do see the Banshee here dealing a little bit of damage. It does go down. The Roaches now just continue to push on forwards. The Vipers, well, now they're going to try and see what they can do. They're actually just going to abduct a 4 and a tank in here to begin with. Another couple of tanks as well. It kind of feels as though Impact's doing pretty well for himself so far in this fight. One more abduct. Tanks continue to fall. They're still pressing forwards. There's just nothing to protect these siege tanks any longer. And INnoVation just going to type out GG. Doesn't have enough to stay in this game with. Impact takes game for game 3 of this series. Let's see how this will go. To the bottom left-hand side, our orange Zerg player. It is Impact. Going up against the blue Terran to the top right-hand side here of Black-Pink, INnoVation. Laser Sec is just not stopping, gifting a sub to 4rush. Welcome 4rush to the Wardy family, and thank you Laser Sec for the sub gift. Just like to point out, guys, that if you are a brand new sub, as I see a few of you guys being obviously being gifted some subs, you do have access to our most recent replay pack. It's pinned in our subscriber channel on Discord, so do go check that out. But also listen to this, check this out, right? You will also get a new replay pack, most likely tomorrow, which will also feature all of the replays from today's matches, as well as all the replays from tomorrow's matches, as well as all the replays from everything we casted since the last replay pack went out. It'll be another 100 to 200 replays of the top players in the world. Definitely worth getting your hands on, definitely worth, if you're already a subscriber, checking out. If you're not a subscriber and you want them, consider subscribing. We're pushing towards 400 subs at the moment, which is kind of crazy. So it's pretty sick. That's pretty sick. If you got Twitch Prime, obviously you can subscribe to the channel for free as well, so do check that out as an option. And otherwise, let's see how this game gets going. Obviously a pretty slow start to this game 3. It is a pool first though, so we'll see what these couple of Zerglings can maybe get done, but it is only 2 Zerglings. Let's see what they can get up to. Let's see if they can delay that CC at all. See what they want to get up to. Is this a rerun? Says username not available either. Well, no, not right now it isn't. We don't really do reruns on the channel. It is a cast of replays, but it's not a rerun. I'm casting live. Live. Do. Sad that live died in the semi-finals though. As we set up into this, get this going. Reaper poking around, seeing what's up, seeing what's going on. Do you see the link speed currently coming through right now from Impact? As we do have INnoVation going to be building a second Rax. Wow. Is he actually going to open 2-1-1? Oh my god, INnoVation. That's really something. That is really something. Well, we just see this SCV in a little bit of trouble here, but in the most part has been dealt with and everything will go down. We are just going to be seeing these Stimpackers on the way up in the main base. So Stimpack coming through on the main. Command Center coming down on the natural, and we're going to see the orbital on the way up as well. And yeah, new task Carapace currently coming on through. A few drones currently on the way up as well here, so just, I mean, really nothing too crazy. Only 2 hatches though, no third hatch, and so it looks as though Impact's going to try and do a little bit of something with these lings. I think these Marines with a few SCVs already on the low ground should be kind of okay though. I'm just going to see those lings trying to maybe dive into the natural. Not find anything just yet. Yeah, I think these Marines are completely fine. So yeah, opening 2-1-1 a little bit different. Now the third hatchery will come down a little bit later, but continuing to put this up. We're not going to see those few things just backing away back through the center. Laser Sec with another sub, the 7th in the channel. 7 in a row. Giving the sub out to the Tron Hammer. I mean, right now we really are making a push towards 400 subs, which is pretty crazy. Thank you so much, Laser Sec, for the sub gift. Do appreciate it. And welcome the Tron Hammer to the Wardy family. Do appreciate it. So, setting up, we're going to see a couple of medevacs on the way up. And we are going to be seeing the, well, just obviously as the Marines come out here, the medevacs are out, this initial push does actually get started. So, INnoVation getting this ready to go as we see a few Marines loading in. He's going to leave a few Marines in the bunker because he does know that Impact has been very annoying with those lings so far. Impact sees the medevacs, but I think he had a pretty good read on what was going on anyways, as we are going to be seeing these few Queens just sat on the third base. So a few Queens sat on the third, so we're going to be seeing those 2 medevacs going to be dropping off in the next few moments, and, well, Marine's going to get ready to push at the front here. We want to look to see what they can do. One Zergling goes down already. We are going to see another couple of Zerglings around the back. Going to get taken down nice and quickly as well. Once more coming back around this side. We still see those Lings and Queens continue to gather together. Medevacs loading up. Coming back towards the main base. So Marine's going to be dropping down as well. And we do see the Queens continue to push in towards those medevacs. One of the medevacs already below half health, so has to be a little bit careful with that at the moment. Needs to be a little bit careful, doesn't want to actually lose it. And now he'll just unload and looks as though he's going to just clean up some creep. I mean, the 2-1-1 was obviously a very popular build for a very long time in TvZ. It really fell out of fashion because Zergs just got so good at defending it without really slowing down their economy all too much. But it's still a nice build to mix in because it's still, if played correctly, leaves you in a good position, if not the great position it left you, it used to leave you in when Zergs were not as good as defending it. It's still got that potential to do some damage as well. It does keep the Zerg controlled. You can see here INnoVation continue to just deal with those creep tumors. 2 more medevacs full of units come across the map now to support this attack. And the Bane Nest only just finished. There isn't even that many Banes to really deal with this just yet, as those Marines are going to be unloading and getting ready to push once again. So here we go, just going to be pushing on forwards, and we are going to be seeing, well, these Lings coming in once again, trying to see what they can do. A Queen taking some damage. Banes target fired, as we would expect from INnoVation. All those Banes get target fired down. INnoVation loses a couple of medevacs. There's a couple more Banes that have just finished up. The Queens are still fighting here. Marine's still here as well. The Banes, one of them connects, and that's going to be enough to force INnoVation back for now. 16 Marines get out of there. I really feel like this was a decent trade, though. Resources lost is INnoVation favored. That's definitely the sort of way he's going to have been wanting this to go over time. Just going to see those medevacs coming down the south side again. Just as we have, do we have a moment? Well, some creeps being cleared up. I just want to say very quickly, thank you so much to DKTK, who's just hit us up with a Twitch Prime sub as well. Thank you very much for using your Twitch Prime on the channel. It means a lot. Goes a long way to help us continue producing content. As the medevac goes down, these Marines continue to kite away. In the end, they do get lifted up. They are going to back off. As medevac comes off over to the right-hand side. So medevac comes over to the right. We're going to see this orbital trying to land on the third base. And we are going to see the couple of medevacs coming through the top side as well. Another couple of barracks on the way up. So again, another couple of racks coming through here right now. We are going to be seeing With 2 upgrades coming in. Well, INnoVation's bio play just continuing along nice and steadily for the moment. Well, Marine's going to be unloading. We are going to be seeing, and just going to be seeing those Marines continue to pick their way through the Zerglings here. Okay, continue pushing towards the left-hand side of this 4th base. Now in a little bit of trouble, so really just great control so far throughout by INnoVation on this bio army. Going to be seeing a Baneling getting targeted down there right away as well, and still just allows him to stick around, continue to pressure this 4th base. Another Bane falls, and again just going to be seeing another few Zerglings dropping. Marines have just targeted every single Baneling once again. The micro has been fantastic so far. The Bane drop over here does get rid of a few SCVs. Credit where credit's due. It's a nice little drop from impact. It's some damage. It does hurt INnoVation just a little bit. You can see a couple of Banes and a Zergling trying to drop on. But it looks as though that Overlord is just a little bit cornered. Just going to see more Marines coming in from the top side. Going to get the 4th base this time. Is going to be a couple of Banes do connect, but he gets out with still a good amount of Marines, and killing the 4th bases obviously makes that so worthwhile. This medevac boosts and gets away nice and quickly as well. Continue to back away through the south here. Still an Overlord just sat off to the right. We're going to see this command center is maybe in a little bit of trouble. This Zergling of Impact going to try and jump on top of it. Just trying to slow down the 4th base from coming up here. A lot of Lings, but really not that many Banes to work with, and that's the issue. INnoVation has applied so much pressure that the few Banes that have been on the map have been consistently taken down time and time again. 10 workers killed here by Impact so far. The game resources lost is still heavily INnoVation favored. 2,775 versus 4,862. Definitely looking great for INnoVation so far, who on 70 workers, soon to be a 4th CC. I mean, even if these Banes clean out an entire mineral line, INnoVation's going to rebuild it so quickly now that 4 bases are up. You know, it's still good damage, don't get me wrong, but it's not what it used to be. As you can see, these Marines stimming over. That's why the Banes dropping down. It's a few Marines, it's a few SCVs, nothing really too substantial from 10 to 14 workers. INnoVation continues to defend. He kills that Overlord, which actually puts Impact into the supply block. Now these few medevacs going to loop back around the top side once more. So a few medevacs back around the top side, and as they come around here, we are still going to be seeing a few Lings and Banes just moving their own way around the place. 3 upgrades on the way from INnoVation now. Hive Tech starting up as well at Hive. Going to be finishing quite shortly. And just going to be seeing the few Marines of INnoVation dropping off from that one single medevac, as he may just look to use those to clean up some creep in the near future. Well, I'm just going to be seeing a couple of changes going down once again. Just going to see Burrow coming through, +2 melee coming through also, +1 missiles also starts up in the Evo chamber. A few Marines will stem forward, so we're just going to see that Watchtower taken for the moment. Again, a few more Lings and Hydras coming along here. Banes are going to look to try and connect on in, and don't quite get any kills. A couple of Marines do go down. One Marine just unloads up to the top side, and again, INnoVation still just sitting himself on the south side of the map. 2 of a few Marines on the Watchtower. Burrow starting on up. You see the +2 melee is definitely going to be something that can make a big impact. I love that we do see the missile upgrade though, because there is a good number of Hydras here, and so having that upgrade definitely can go a long way. Hydras and Lings going to start working their way through those rocks on this side, and that's a nice lift up into drop here to kind of minimize the damage the Banes do. Obviously, a Baneling going off on a Marine is nowhere near as efficient as a Baneling going in towards a clump of Marines. So that was actually a really nice trade out in the end by INnoVation. He lifts up here once more. The lack of a +2 melee is actually very apparent right now in some of these fights. You know, you can see they're just not killing these Marines when there's some medevac healing to combine with it. Nicely done so far. Again, tanks gathering together, some more Marines and medevacs still coming through in towards the center. See another few creep tuners being cleaned out as well. Still feel this has all been about INnoVation for the last few minutes. We see this drop into the main base. Doing some damage once again. Sorcerer's Cabin is about 75% of the way done. Medevac is just going to get taken down here by these medevacs in the end. Just going to see again a few more Lings coming through. Marine gets picked off, a few more Banes as well. Just going to be seeing a couple more Liberators popping out here. Ghost Academy coming through as well. Just going to still see this army continue to move on around. Quick question from the chat. How do subs get access to the VODs? Well, VODs are actually available to everybody. We don't put them behind a sub wall. So if you want to watch the VODs of today's cast, they're already available from earlier, and they will continue to go up. It's just on the Twitch channel. If you want replays, that is limited to subscribers, and they get given out for our subscriber Discord channel. That said, we still do see this army moving around here from Impact, Ling, Bane, Hydra, and Festa. Moving on down, currently to the south side here, going to grab themselves around on a few of those Marines. Nice little pick-off right there, as we still do see some tanks. Also just setting up on this right-hand side, a few Ghosts on the way up, plus 2 vehicle plating on the way out as well, concussive shells too. Couple more command centers on the way out. And again, a few Lings to the top side for Impact. Spire coming up in the natural. And well, it's a Marine just chasing this for a couple of Overlords away from Impact as well. Over the right-hand side, some more Marines are going to stim on down here, and we are going to be seeing a couple of Overlords getting picked off. Again, a lot of Ling, Bane, Hydra, Viper getting set to go, as we do have a couple of Banes connecting in, getting rid of a couple of Marines to begin with. Well, Spire and a Greater Spire coming up too. I mean, this is one of those games where INnoVation's controlled it from the start, and a lot of the time, I think a lot of the time here, we really do kind of expect Terran players, especially nowadays, to kind of take a lead and do what INnoVation is doing with it. Build into Ghosts, build into mass starports, because it's much easier to lose the game trying to end it early than it is to just play it out and play the long run. As you are going to be seeing a few more Marines just setting on up, and we do see Ling, Bane, and Festa, Viper still pushing on forwards. A couple of Marines getting taken down there already. Top left-hand side, we're going to see one drone picked off, and another few Lings and Hydras continue coming through. I'll just continue to pick that off, and the medevac does go down. Again, a little bit more Ling, Bane trying to come in on this side. Oh, nice flying cloud, though. That is actually going to allow a little bit to be done here. These couple of Ghosts are in some trouble. Marine simming in. Can he save the Ghost? Oh, my God. He saves one of them. The second one, or the first one that actually went down, really kind of felt as though it was so close to being safe. So close. Just didn't quite make it in the end. Again, a lot of Overseers coming up to the top, and Marine here gets taken down by the few Hydras. Tanks still gathering together. The Bio Army still set up just down the ramp from the natural, and again, in a position where you can respond quickly to defend this base here, and also kind of respond quickly to the south side, as INnoVation is just mass expanding. This is where Terran gets really difficult to deal with. When they're in a position where they can just mass expand, the Zerg really starts to struggle to just deal with the later game army, I think. Again, Lings and Hydras is going to be picking off those few rocks right there, and opens up the pathway towards this base just a little bit more easily if he wants to use that a bit later on. Again, Greater Spire is now done, so we can expect to see maybe some Broodlords starting to come into play. The Broods are very good at kind of creating that kind of initial layer of units with the Broodlings to push back the Terran player just that little bit. So, you know, it gives you a little bit of breathing room for your main army, which obviously needs to be fairly well protected. More Lings coming down towards the bottom right of the Liberator. We'll see Jump Command Center just lands as well. You just see the Liberator still kind of just not really doing a lot here. Let's see if he has to lift, but again, the rest of the army is nearby, so those Lings, it's actually kind of expensive, but at the same time, it kind of feels like Impact probably wants to kind of free up some supply, right? And so at least he kind of got a little bit of damage done with those Lings, and it frees up the supplies for the Corruptors, which of course soon become the Broodlords, and then you get in towards that later game setup that we were just talking about previously as well. A couple of Ravens from INnoVation currently on the way out. I mean, he's already actually got a fair few here, if I'm going to be honest. Obviously, when you build 4 starports at once, that tends to happen. So a bunch of Ravens currently coming on through. As you see, Lings and Banes gathering up in the center. Another couple of CCs from INnoVation, though, and this is what's going to be hard as well. If he has planetary fortresses just all over the place, I don't actually know how you really deal with that. Those Lings get shut down. These Lings over here are actually going to get a little bit of damage done. Here comes the rest of the army. Mass anti-armor missile comes in. Deals a lot of damage right from the get-go and a lot of Banes. Ghosts have an EMP potentially to use, and they do get a couple of snipes off on those Infestors. That was a bit of a sudden fight. Definitely INnoVation favored. He has to rebuild 2 Ravens, 4 Ghosts, and he's already maxed out. Whereas, I mean, Impact has to build 11 Broods, 6 Infestors, and he's still 30 supply away. A lot of Broods coming up in the center. So do see those few Zerglings dealing a little bit of damage in the natural expansion. I mean, it was that run by that was maybe the most effective of everything that just happened in the last couple of moments here. I guess let's look at the resources. A If you guys are a Zerg, I'm sorry that I put that on screen. 21,500 resources lost versus the 14,000. Very, very, very favored towards INnoVation right now. And that last fight obviously only helped out, as we are going to be seeing Broodlords, Lings, and Hydras all gathering together. A lot of Queens underneath, a few Infestors as well. A couple of Broodlings coming down here, and a couple of Marines do get picked off very quickly. A few Broodlings are going to get taken down there as well, so a few Broodlings do fall. 22 more Banelings on the way up right now. And as 22 more Banes come in, they're probably going to get ready to go for a big push forwards. Again, this army just gathering up together here, and as they gather up together, you just see more ghosts coming out. I mean, this really is one of those scenarios where INnoVation, who was in the lead in the early stages of his game, as he kills off his own siege tanks to free up supply. He was in a lead early, and honestly, I think when you get a lead like that in the mid game and choose to play late game, I really think, you know, it's not you're forced into late game because your attempts to end the game didn't work. It's you felt as though you wanted to play late game after being in a lead, so you start setting up into late game from an advantage. I think it's so hard for Zerg to do anything about that, and that's what we've kind of seen so far. And I mean, well, INnoVation is really just on the Dream Army. Ravens, Ghosts, and Bio to support still. I mean, Impact's army is good, but you need a bank to play with, and he just really doesn't have the bank to play with right now. So you do see these Broodlings dropping down. You see some anti-armor missiles just going to scrape the surface of the Broodlord's health here. Not the end of the world just yet to take a couple of shots like that. Obviously, here come the Ghost, though, and they will get a couple of snipes off before we see the Fungal / Broodlings coming in to damage them and to cancel the rest of the snipes that were currently coming into play. What's up, TSA Maunk? Tasamaunk? I have no idea which way we're meant to say it. Maybe it's Samaunk. Samaunk? So many ways you could say your name, but thank you so much for the Twitch Prime sub. Appreciate it. Saying, love what you do, Wardy, in the chat. Well, thank you for the kind words as well. Love your Twitch Prime sub. Thank you so much for the support. Nuke starts to come on down, and it's actually INnoVation. Pushes forward. Big fungal growth on the Ghost, though. Ghost is going to have to pull back here. The nuke is going to go off, but it's not going to land on anything really too important. It cleans out a few creep tumors, but that's about it. +2 flyer carapace and +2 flyer attacks is, well, very narrowly finished up here. So those are going to continue coming through. The last one's correct. Samaunk? I forgot what I said. Thank you so much for the sub, though. I do appreciate it, even if I'm terrible at saying your name. Anti-armor missiles go in en masse, but now INnoVation has to somewhat take advantage of this because he has just used a lot of his Raven energy. So if he doesn't take advantage of this now, he's sort of just sat without really gaining anything, and now without the energy to defend with as well. Well, here comes the Lingbane Hydra, a little bit late to join the party because this Bio has been so far forward for so long. In the end, Impact is going to be somewhat pushed away. INnoVation is kind of just so happy to just sort of sit here and do what he wants to do. As we're going to be seeing anti-armor missiles going in once again. Brood's going to turn around. 9-1 Fest is currently on the way out. Going to see these few Broodlings continue to drop on down, trying to do a little bit more damage. 4 more Ghosts on the way through, and again, just rebuilding the important units here. And as we are going to be seeing the nuke coming up once again. The Bio coming forwards, trying to bait. I mean, in a way, I guess, bait the Broodlords into this fight. Like, come on, you know, walk into my nuke, please. Actually kills a few Spore Crawlers there this time around, which is pretty good going. A couple of spores just come on forwards, though. Overseer is actually in range of a missile turret, not something you see every day. Sieged up Overseer, taken down by a missile turret. Again, INnoVation. This is where I think his strength lies. He has the, he has the top side of the map and the entire bottom right. He just has so many bases to work with, and that's just something I don't think you can allow as the Zerg, because you don't trade efficiently in these later stages of the game, and so you need to deny the bases. But that again is so hard when the Terran player goes into the late game in a lead. Because then what do you do as the Zerg? You know, how can you stop him taking the bases if you don't have the army to do so already? I think that's the big issue. Neosteel Frame even being upgraded by INnoVation here. We are just going to be seeing the feelings continue to work away against this as we see a scans or two coming down. Broodlords are backing away with the Infestors, Banes, and Hydras to go along with them. Yeah, a few Zerglings still just working their way through this orbital, and again, coming around to the top side, a few Lings are being picked away at the moment. INnoVation is going to lose a few more Marines here. There's big fungal growths going down on the front of this Bio. Big fungal growths coming into play as we see the Ghost getting to work as well. A few more Spore Crawlers coming on down, and again, some missile turrets also going to come in towards the front. Sport Crawler is going to get rid of that Liberator right there. So Liberator, ooh, just stays alive. The Fungal Growth will get the job done in the end. It's been a standoff in this bottom right side of the map for the last little while. And obviously we've seen a couple of skirmishes come from it, but it keeps coming back to this point where we are sat waiting to see what happens from this position right here. A few Brutalians take the lead, a few Infested Terrans placed down. Maybe just to try and get a Raven kill or so if anything comes forward. The Snipe actually gets an Infestor. Another couple of Brutalians just dropping in. Back and forth action from Impact as he just tries to get something done at the moment. Here we go, Ravens once again. Anti-armor missiles hit a stack of Broodlords. So close to going down some of those, and we'll see another few ghost shots coming in to try and finish them off. The EMP comes down on the Infestors. Actually, the Infestors are a drain of energy. There's nothing to really stop these ghosts on mass sniping, and that's the issue right now, and that's where the Lingbane Hydra has to start coming forwards instead. That was another big win for INnoVation. He got a lot of kills here, and Impact. Now he's out of gas. He's actually struggling to reproduce every single time. You'll see the few Brutalians coming down once more. They get worked away, and we are going to see the Sport Crawler once again taken down here. EMP comes down onto the Infestors. We see the Ravens coming forward, going to look for another anti-armor missile or so. Goes in towards the Brutals, goes in towards the Hydras. INnoVation still just set up here on the south side. You can see the Neural Parasite currently on the way up as well, about to finish up. A few more Broodlords on the way. Still just gathering this army right now. Down to the south, holding this watchtower. Impact is maxed out again, but he's adding Zerglings into the composition. And when you're starting to add Zerglings back into play, without the real intention of making them Banes, etc., I think that's when you start to realize that this is a little bit of trouble, you know. When you're not replacing the Zerglings you already have with Flings, but you're replacing, Broodlords with Flings. That's when you're really starting to be in a bit of a tough spot right here. INnoVation is, again, being on a slow crusade in this game. As we see another couple of anti-armor missiles coming down. It's going to hit all over the place. This army of Impact. Well, he hits a big fungal growth on the Ghost, but again, the anti-armor missiles have done so much already. And Impact falls to 160 supply. Without a bank to rebuild, he is in some real trouble right here. 13,000 resources lost difference. I mean, honestly, though, the 13k resources lost difference is the difference between just one extra base or so. If Impact had this base and he denied this one, something like that, that's the difference between, INnoVation also truly being out of money at this sort of stage, while being maxed out, and Impact maybe being maxed out as well. It's going to see the nuke coming down. It does land on just a few creep tumors once again. Another few Broodlords on the way out. Currently 3 nukes being built at a time across the Ghost Academies over on this third base. Spores are pushing forwards. And obviously INnoVation is just sort of sat here, just sort of saying, well, my income's still looking pretty good. I've got a new base setting up down here right now that you're not currently doing anything about. A few Broodlords going back and forth. There's a nuke off up into the sky. We're actually going to be nuking the top left-hand base. All the nukes so far have actually been focused towards the army. Impact very quick to realize where that nuke is, though. Pulls away his drones at least, and will, as the nuke lands, just lose a couple of spines and some creep tumors. Not the end of the world. Looking fast. Moving forwards here, though, we actually saw an Infestor just being sniped. Even some Ghosts. Overlords being sniped right now. Another Overseer as well. Some good pickoffs right now from our Terran player. Again, just, damage wherever you can find it. I see another Overseer in the front gets taken down right away. Obviously, if there's no Overseers, the Ghost can just kind of cloak up, I guess. Obviously, I guess the Spore Crawlers too. Again, Brood split a little bit too late there. Fungal Growth is good to push back the first wave of Ghost attack. And, well, now we see Impact coming over to the right-hand side. And a couple of anti-armor missiles being thrown in towards this army. Another nuke being set up here towards the front. It is going to be coming down over the next few moments. Again, more anti-armor missiles just striking, and there is not the ability to rebuild here. INnoVation has to back away because of the nuke. His own nuke kind of stopping him from pushing forwards at the moment, but now he has freedom, and again, this Zerg army is not getting any stronger over time. It really isn't. Another nuke coming in, leading with some bio for just a little bit. The Infestors are looking to see what they can find, but the mass EMP, he grabs one, goes, but he doesn't actually do anything with it on the Neural Parasite. We're going to see these anti-armor missiles coming in once again, and that's going to be... Oh my god, the nuke lands as well. I didn't even see the nuke at the end. GG INnoVation takes game 3, and he will be, well, nothing to wait around for. Thank you so much, everyone who has been... I mean, obviously that last game was quite long, but that bit of a sub train we had going on through the game and all of that, thank you so much, guys. Appreciate all the support. We're actually at 379 subs, and I think in a day or two we're going to drop a bunch of subs because it's been a month since we did the big WCS Challenger broadcast or the qualifier broadcasts. But I just want to say thank you to everyone who has been supporting lately, because we've been pushing towards 400 subscribers very nicely, and it gives me a lot of confidence that we're going to be able to stick above 300-ish, which is nice. 300-ish is currently is like our current goal of like staying above, you know. So thank everyone for the support lately. Appreciate all the love, the sub gifts, the subs, the Twitch primes, the donations, the cheers. You guys are awesome, and well, I hope this game is awesome for you guys to enjoy. And let's see if we can get ourselves a Game 5 out of this series or not, as we have to the top left. Our Orange Zerg play. Do let us know if you're cheering this guy on right now in the chat. Let us know who you're supporting. I want to hear it as I introduce the players. Let me know if you're cheering on the Orange Zerg Impact. As we have to the bottom right, I also want to hear it if you're cheering on the Blue Terran player, INnoVation. I also want to give a shout out just to the chat today, because I feel for the first time in like a week and a half or 2 weeks, we just haven't had a chat which has just been full of nonsense and crap and stupid arguments, which is awesome. So that's been really awesome. So shout out to you guys. Good job today. Hypnotic Skittles is cheering on INnoVation. Faith is cheering on Impact and INnoVation though. Inno says and to band. Samunk is going in. I'm still never going to say her name right ever again. Cheering on INnoVation as well. So is Gorgodon. So is insert a name here. Some of the Roddy mechs in the chat, which I kind of feel is for INnoVation. Steve is Pog championing at Wardy. We love you, Wardy, says Faith. Aye, aye, aye. Go chat, says Lucidity Dog. Is Wardy blind? I'm not blind, but it's definitely been a lot better than before. Just an Impact fan passing through, says the base tacker. Alright, well, good to hear who you guys are cheering on, guys. I hope whoever you're cheering on does win. As, again, what's so awesome is that, by the way, 13 hours from now, 13 hours and 20 minutes, we'll be live with the next Kung Fu Cup, which we'll be playing live tomorrow. We weren't here last week to cast this one live, which is why we're casting it here from replays today. So do make sure you tune in for that. It's been quite the stream. We're actually pushing on 5 hours in the stream right now, and for a replay cast of an event, that's pretty crazy. I actually wonder how long it took them to cast the entire tournament on the day, because it feels like it's like something like a 6.5 hour cast maybe. Like, if it takes us 5 hours for replays, and you know we have very little downtime between games, usually we have like, you know, a few more minutes per series. I reckon they probably went on for like a 6.5 hour cast maybe on the day. It's kind of crazy. It's been a long day of StarCraft. Less emphasis on the May. So like Samunk. I was gonna say Samus doesn't make any sense. So Samus. No, I'm now you've got me saying it wrong. Ah! Samunk. There you go. I'm a little bit better. They've definitely improved. Well, Fast Rotron gets cancelled, and he's going to be replacing that there at the front instead. The Evolution Chamber going to be coming down too, so just stand up at the front right now as the Reaper dives in towards the main base. Banshee on the way out, a Stimpack upgrade as well. Bio once more from INnoVation, and on Backwater, I actually kind of feel that this will turn into quite a long game, because it's one of these builds where if you play Bio on Backwater, you're probably looking to play it out and head in towards Ghost Liberator into eventually Ravens. It's just the way you play out these kind of larger maps that are easy to take bases on. So let's see what INnoVation can do. I actually feel it sets you up better to go into Ravens playing Bio than it does Mech, which might sound a bit weird, but it's because Bio can really control the map and slow the Zerg down while securing expansions. Mech struggles to do that a little bit, I feel. And that's just maybe a personal sort of preference observation thing. This Reaper, oh my god. This Reaper's been going fucking crazy. 5 drones and 4 lanes. Like, I just really noticed it because he just grabbed that final drone here, and I know we haven't really been talking about it, we've just been watching, but Jesus, 5 drones and 4 lanes? It's absolutely crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Well, 9 kill Reaper, that's already a pretty decent start for INnoVation here. And if, you know, in what could be, if he wins this, the final game of the tournament. We do just have, for the moment, a... we'll just set off to the side. Hydra's Den is on the way up. Infestation Pit from Impact coming in on the main base as well. +1 missile attack and +1 Carapace from Impact. Currently also coming on through here as INnoVation comes around the top side of the map with a few of these Hellions. So let's see what he can do with a few of these Hellions right now, as we do see Overseer just currently being pushed away. And a couple of these medevacs from INnoVation are currently moving around as well at the moment. So first real kind of attack on the map beyond the Reaper from INnoVation. Obviously this Banshee's been out, but didn't really look for kills. It's more of a defensive Banshee because again he was going up the free base quickly, so it keeps him safer against kind of the earlier Roach play. Hydra's already on the way out here, as that is not good from INnoVation. Very nearly losing a medevac, and already getting a medevac so low does mean you have to basically just stop kind of attacking with it, right? You can't really commit in towards a drop with a medevac like this when it's already so low, as we do see Queen being pushed back a little bit. The Roach is pulling back a little bit too. Queen goes back, Roaches keep on pushing in. Marines and Marauders chased away down the left-hand side at the moment, as we are going to be seeing that link speed of Impact is about halfway done at the moment. It's going to be seeing double engineering bay dropping down. It's been a very standard build-up in towards the 5 racks here from INnoVation. Off of the 3 bases, the second factory being added into play as well, and a 4th command center coming down now also. So really just everything you would expect this to be. The 5 racks, 2 factories, obviously the 4th CC as well. So one medevac comes up the left-hand side, a Marauder and 5 Marines in it, and they're going to start unloading to work their way through a couple of these drones. A couple of Lings here going to start getting taken down as well, as we are just going to be seeing Queens and Hydras pretty quick to respond though. That medevac pushed away as we see Hellions diving in on the 4th base. Those drones are lined up. Oh my god, the Banes crashing in to connect and save the day. Nicely done. Well, again, just going to be seeing 2-2 upgrades coming through now, and again, a couple of more medevacs just on the way out as this bio play continues to roll on out here at the moment. Spire and a Hive on the way through from Impact in the main base, so he's going to be getting in towards this great Spire in the next few moments, it seems. Infesta on the way out as well, going to be seeing the Muscular Augments, the Bane speed, all these kind of speed increasing upgrades finishing shortly. This is kind of a Ling, Bane, Hydra, Roach sort of army to play against the bio. I mean, I guess it was Roaches early, but he's kind of transitioned away from any sort of Roach production into mostly Ling, Bane, Hydra now. Already has the missile upgrade for the Hydras, so now just focus on the melee upgrade for Lings and Banes. Again, a couple of Infestors being mixed in already with the Hive and the Spire on the way. Really feels as though Impact just wants to go straight up in towards Broodlords here, and we'll see if that's something which can kind of play out for him in the next few moments as we do see that Overseer taken on down. A little bit of bio gets lifted up again, but it runs straight in towards the Hydras, so the medevac falls, the bio inside will of course be killed, and INnoVation will be, well, a little bit unfortunate with that one, but he has a replacement drop ready, and this one is 3 times the strength, triple medevac, heading towards the upper left side. Obviously aiming to land into this 3rd base, although double Spore Crawler, even triple Spore Crawler, but if he flies in this way, it's only going to be 2 he has to deal with. It's kind of annoying. Let's see where he does try and do this. He actually flies right through the middle, so all 3 spores kind of become a thing. But he just drops all the way along, all the way up into the natural as well, so a massive spread of units. He actually lifts some of them up and heads in towards the main base as well. Don't feel he necessarily does a lot of damage though. The drones got saved, the cleanup's pretty good, the medevacs are falling. Doesn't feel like INnoVation is achieving much at all with these attacks. We're going to see, well, he sees this as a great Aspire coming on into play. Can he get a cancel here? Knowing if he does, well, he doesn't because the medevac goes down with the units inside again. It would be annoying if he does because the Great Aspire is... and how do I say it? The Great Aspire is a long time. It takes a long time to build because you have to build the Spire first, then the Great Aspire. So it's going to be like about 2 minutes more until you get the Great Spire back on track once again. So it would have been a nice pick-off, but obviously it doesn't happen. But he gets the scout that it is on the way, so he knows Broodlords are a possibility, and hence, you know, he should be able to start preparing for them in the next few moments so that he doesn't get caught off guard by like a massive Brood, which obviously would turn into a little bit of a disaster. Creep Tumor and a few Banelings going down at the moment, as we're going to be seeing the Banes continue to chase on forwards. We are going to be seeing all those Banes coming through there, and we have got the continued stem back down to the south side of the map. 4 more Ghosts on the way through. Spine Crawlers being added into play as well. We see a few medevacs, 2 of them going to drop in towards the main base, or one of them is. The other 2 actually go elsewhere, but Hydra's intercept. Impact's drop defense has been impeccable. I kind of feel like if I was INnoVation in this game, I'd be like, God, okay, you're just so good at defend drops, I'm going to stop trying to drop. But I guess at the same time, while his defense is good, INnoVation doesn't mind too much if he doesn't deal masses of damage, because he is just sort of buying time to head up in towards the ghosts and all the rest of it. It's better for him to keep Impact busy on the other side of the map inefficiently than it is for him to try and deal with Impact's army on his own side of the map if he isn't prepared to play against the later game setup. So, you know, the one thing the drops definitely have done is buy time, because this is the first time we really see Impact with his main army moving forwards here. Now by the time the Broodlords arrive, we're already talking about 11 ghosts on the map. Starports are going to be finished and starting to produce as well. So we're seeing Hydras, Roaches, Banes. We're going to be starting to come down towards the south side here. And we've got to start, well, the potential here for Impact to move on forward. So let's see what he can do now. First nuke of the game is on the way up here from INnoVation. A few more command centers coming in as well. It's so easy to hold these bases on with the tank count at the moment. It's so difficult for the Hydras and Banes to do anything. You know, the Broodlords and the first snipes do come down. No doubled up snipes, so I think only one Broodlord actually got killed so far. Next snipes get cancelled because of the fungal growth. The fungal growth's very good. The Broodlords are going to keep on pushing forwards. It feels like, wow, they don't. Okay, the Broodlords do. The Bane Hydra kind of pulls back. And we've seen a couple of ghosts get abducted forwards by the Vipers. The ghosts are in trouble. He's losing a lot of ghosts here so far. Nuke starts to come down. A bit of a desperation move to try and make something happen. And Impact is still just moving forwards here. That ghost should get killed in time, if only just. And Impact is just flooding on forwards. He has so much right now as INnoVation. Well, he has some ghosts and tanks to the left-hand side. He can definitely use the ghosts to get rid of a couple of those Broodlords. He's got a bit more of an army kind of gathering together up there as well. There's the snipes coming down to get rid of a few of those broods. Ghost now out of energy, will try and target the Viper, but the Viper pulls away. Still kind of backwards here, using the tanks to deal as much damage as possible. Ghost stay alive due to the planetary fortress. Now units from the top side come in, and INnoVation snipes once again. The Broodlords are going down, and this army from Impact has to turn away. What a hold by INnoVation. Wow. I think 99.9% of Terran players in the world would have died right then and there to even a lesser Zerg player in that location. But INnoVation does everything he needs to. The Ghost Tide over here, the Planetary Fortress kills what he needs to. He gets some crucial snipes off on Broods. He buys time to the top side and gives up the base before rolling on in to turn it around. Well, that was fantastic there in the end by INnoVation. Very well done. What a way to hold on when there was just so much Zerg at the front. Well, INnoVation holds, and now we see a few Banelings currently coming on through here. A few Broodlords coming into play as well. +2 flyer attacks and +1 Carapace for the Sky. I have to say, though, I mean, well, the rest of the upgrades from Impact, he is only on +1 attack upgrades and +2 Carapace. Maybe had a little bit of something to do with the hold of INnoVation there, although, I mean, still a lot of that is just the control of the ghosts and the ability to use those ghosts to get rid of the broods. Not sure how much upgrades come into that part of the game. 4 Ravens are on the way out at the moment here from INnoVation, as 4 Ravens come out at a time. Well, now he is starting to get into that dream setup. He actually leads in supply at the moment as Impact has spent his bank. Wow. What more? What more can I say? Like, it's just crazy. In fact, Morph's in a few more Broodlords, and you know, you can't really blame Impact, I think, for committing so hard there, because it was going so well for him. I really just don't think he realized there's just a couple of ghosts here and there that weren't quite dealt with yet, that INnoVation had been so careful to keep them alive until that point. And that's why he didn't really kind of pull back. But then again, can you pull back? Because the broods move so slowly, do you not just get chased away anyways? It's a bit of a tough, call. Anyways, Broodlords do start coming on down towards the south side. Marines and Marauders are setting up here at the moment. We do see these Broodlings. Starting to drop on down. Infestors and Banes coming in along as well. And Ghosts moving forwards as well here to see just what else they can maybe get up to. A lot of the Broodlings getting cleaned up right there. Another scan comes down. And again, it's Infestors, Broodlords, and Banelings which all get found here so far. A couple of Broodlings will drop in. And we'll see the Marines being kept alive through that attack for the moment. Nice fungal growth Comes down, lands on the front line. It's not an amazing fungal, I guess. It doesn't land on ghosts or anything. Cancels snipes. This could. And there it does. It cancels a couple of them, but a few did get off as well. INnoVation sims on in. He's in a concave. He wants to fight this, apparently. Pressing the issue. Here come the Ravens. Anti-armor missiles on the Ling Bane. And that's going to make those just sort of disappear very quickly now, as we are still going to be seeing these Broodlords just continuing to kind of come along here. Those Broods are going to get ready to drop it or launch their way in towards this planetary fortress on the south side. A few more Ravens coming through, 4 more Ghosts, the extra Banes, the Lings, the Corruptors. Another Infestor from Impact is also currently on its way up right now. Broodlords are still dropping their Broodlings in towards this planetary fortress. We see the Snipes starting to come on down. And again, we do see those Broods are just taking a lot of damage from the Snipes because there's no Fungals or anything to stop these Ghosts from sniping away. The anti-armor missile comes in on towards the Lingbane Hydra, and I like that decision because with the lower number of missiles that he has right now, because his Ravens don't have tons of energy, I think it's a lot more effective to put 2 or 3 onto Lingbane Hydra, kill a few things and make it so easy to kill, than to get 2 or 3 onto Broodlords, which are just going to regenerate health over time. You know, maybe 1 is nice because it makes the snipe maybe 1 hit the Broods. Anyways, the Ling's coming through, and we are going to be seeing a run by here. INnoVation a little bit slow to respond to that. No depots lifted, and still no depot lifted as the Ling's heading towards the main base. Marines on the top side do take down a hatchery, which is nicely done, but INnoVation is going to lose a lot of economy because those Lings are already working their way through some SEs. That said, they're only on +1 melee. Look how terrible these Zerglings are. Why isn't Impact built more ground upgrades? Look at like how this entire mineral line should have been dead in like 2 seconds with that many Zerglings. And it took them like 30 seconds, it felt like. That was an eternity. That was so terrible. Only +1 melee. I mean, that affects Broodlords as well, right? They drop down Broodlings. They benefit from melee upgrades. That's actually a big mistake from Impact, I think, to stop on just +1. Here you go. INnoVation pushes in again. Big Fungal hits every single Ghost this time. Follow-up Fungal lands as well. As that fades away, the Medivacs are going to be hugely important. And the armor missile actually friendly fires onto the Ghosts. Well, is this a moment or so for Impact to make something happen here? More anti-armor missiles keep on dropping on through. Broodlords are still firing away as well. Ghosts turn back around to try and get a little bit more done. Some snipes coming down at the moment. Ravens of INnoVation still just gathered up as well. Just pulling back a little bit. He has to give up this base, so he loses out on that one. The Infestors are so down on energy, though. I don't think Impact should be this far forward. The anti-armor missiles come on through. Every single Broodlord will go down. And again, there's no energy on these Infestors to really do anything either. So suddenly the Ghosts are sniping everything. And Impact should have backed away from denying that base. He shouldn't have pushed further in. This was an overcommitment that he could have avoided. Impact with a big mistake here, and INnoVation with the perfect setup to be able to capitalize as we see all of the Infestors go down. Now these Queens are just wandering in the middle of the map as well. They are also going to fall. The Lings aren't even scary because they don't do any damage because there's +3 armor against +1 melee. Wow. Well, what can I say, guys? Like, absolute disaster for Impact in the last couple of moments, and INnoVation may very well have just sealed the deal on winning out in this series. A few Ravens still just gathered on at the top of that watchtower. Another command center coming along. And, well, we do see some Ultras being made. I don't know what the hell they're going to do against 22 Ghosts. And that's just the Ghosts that are in the center here. There might even be some more around elsewhere. But, yeah, Impact is in a world of trouble. Resources lost about 11k difference, similar to the last game, I guess, in the end. I think these Ultras are just absolutely trashed here right now in this sort of a game. What on earth are you going to use Ultras for? They're going to get sniped. I just don't think Ultras work against this many Ghosts. I mean, okay, he doesn't have libs, but, you know, shrug, so what? Ultra's going to be, I mean, the Ultras don't even have +3 Carapace. You know, going back to the upgrades, they're on +2 Carapace, the Ultralisks. +1 melee, they're not going to deal any damage. 20 minutes in game, and we see +2 melee starts. Absolutely disastrous here from Impact this game in the last few minutes especially. And it's not, you know, I don't feel nice being so harsh to a player, but he really made some mistakes, right? I mean, it's so apparent as well, and just really feeling like the upgrades are a massive mistake. This Bio Army just lasts so long against this run by, even though it's just 1 medevac healing. Like, they could barely even kill the Marauder towards the end there with a full surround. So we've seen some drops again set up again. INnoVation just interested in continuing to deny the top right-hand side of mining here. The more he can deny that, obviously, the better it becomes for him. Lings, Hydras, Infestors, Ultras, all gathering towards the upper left-hand side. Bio pushing forwards. We're not going to be seeing these Lings and Ultras coming on through as well here, so here we go, pushing that back again. I guess the Ultras are good at pushing this army back when it's just the Bio before the Ghosts come in position. But look at this, we're 21 minutes in game and these Ultras just died to Bio because they're on +2 Carapace. This should not be the upgrade scenario right here, as I mean, he prioritized the air upgrades, which is kind of like cool, but you know, it's kind of funny because the air upgrades do nothing in this game. Anti-armor missile isn't affected by air upgrades. Snipe isn't affected by air upgrades. So what on earth did the air upgrades do? Right? Like, nothing. Okay, now it's going to be really good for his Corruptors to take down the Liberators. Yeah, I feel like I'm being a bit harsh on Impact, but honestly, the last few minutes has just been disastrous for him, and it's very hard to find anything redeeming in his play right now, because everything, it might just be that everything's already gone wrong, and so that, you know, it's very difficult for him to then get something to go right. I mean, the upgrade mistake is something we keep mentioning. Obviously, that was a decision made so long ago. Feels like Impact just fell apart a little bit here towards the very end, as we do see some Liberators coming back over to the right-hand side. You can see some Zerglings actually sneaking on through from Impact in towards that natural, up in towards the main as well. A lot of this Ling, Bane, Hydra, Ultra going to push back over to the left-hand side also here. Ling's going to pick off a missile turret or so, and we are going to be seeing these couple of Marines just going to be continuing to fight away. More army coming through the center of the map. Extra Banes being morphed in. I mean, this feels like an initial late-game Zerg army, you know? Like, it feels like when the Zergs first hit Hive Tech. I've been on Hive Tech for 13, 14 minutes of this game. Liberator range is coming through as well right now, plus free vehicle plating. INnoVation is really just moments away from making this a 3-1 victory for himself here in this Kung Fu Cup number 3. Don't forget, tomorrow, Kung Fu Cup number 4, guys. 14 hours from the time of speaking. Sorry, make that 13 hours from the time of speaking. Should be awesome. Hope you guys will be there. Factory here burning away up in the skies. SCV is just going to be in trouble once again. Ling's running in. I mean, okay, SCV is in some trouble, so what? Anti-armor missiles absolutely destroy the army. I mean, it wasn't even really much of a need for anything else here. Anti-armor missiles have pretty much done the job anyways. The Ghosts will just stay clumped because, well, they have absolutely no fear right now of anything. And the few snipes that do come down will be good enough to clean this up. This is a pretty bad engagement from INnoVation, and yet it's not even concerning because he was just that far ahead. As we're just going to be seeing, I say pretty bad. I mean, he was pretty clumped up. It's kind of bad for Impact as well, right? Like the Ravens did masses of damage right from the get-go. I guess it was not pretty on either side, really. As the GG, INnoVation takes it 3-1, wraps up today's matches. And